today's lesson we will cover a truly thrilling event. The Goblin Rebellion of 1752 and all its triumphant tragedy. But more specifically, we will address the devastating effect it had on the wizard milling industry. Throughout the many goblin battles, countless wizard cloaks were lost. Actually, we do know the number. 632. But history occurs outside the classroom. And look, it's time for my constitutional. One can practically osmose the history flowing through Hogwarts.
I think the professor wants us to follow him.
And now for a stroll to the bell tower.
If you fail history of magic, you're doomed to
Along with the
repeat
rest of the castle, it was completed in the late early Middle Ages. The hall and the bell towers that loom above it contain myriad interesting artifacts. Good to see you again. Recovered from that nasty bout of dragon pox, have we?
That wasn't me, Professor. I'm new here.
Are you? Well then, welcome. No doubt you're eagerly anticipating my analysis of various wizarding councils, codes, statutes, and of course, goblin rebellions. Not all goblins are rebellious. Some venture into wizarding politics, such as Eargit the Ugly. Some are talented artisans, such as Bragbor the Boastful.
Did you say Bragbor? I know that name. Lord Gok said he was an ancestor of Ranrock.
Well known for his metalwork. I would imagine much of his goblin-wrought iron and silver has survived to this very day. Where were we? Oh yes. Back to our class topic for today. Grimbold Weft. Another notable historical figure. He's right nearby.
Revelio.
Curious students can find him on display here in the bell tower entrance hall. I recommend that all students introduce themselves to this hero.
Can you tell me where I might find Grimbold Weft?
Oh yes, Grimbold Weft. Quick with a needle and thread, that one. He's a fascinating artifact of the Goblin Rebellion of 1752. At any rate, he can be found nearby, perched in his case.
Revelio.
Oh yes, I see you found Grimbold Weft.
Yes, I rather enjoyed seeking him out.
The thrill of the scholarly pursuit. I know the feeling quite well. Now, let's turn our attention to the agreeability and general good nature of Sir Aphbuttle. He's also nearby. See what you can learn from him for your next assignment. Standing in eternal but symbolic watch over the bell tower is a retinue of loyal knights, or rather, statues of knights, I should clarify. Keen-eyed students will spot the statues.
Leave it to Bins to make the most interesting school in the
nestled
world
among the
seem dull.
ranks. His fame was not won by vanquishing foes in single combat, nor by slaying bloodthirsty dragons, but rather in training yards and sculleries. His warm and approachable demeanor was celebrated by old friends and newcomers alike. I
Sir
encourage
Aphbuttle,
Fun to make the waving
Revelio.
spectre's acquaintance. There's nothing quite so magical as history. Dusty, immutable history.
Professor Binns, I found the statue of Sir Aphrodite.
Ah, well done. Alas, Sir Afpuddle's affability was his undoing. Died instantly trying to befriend a basilisk. Eye contact is not always to be encouraged. So beloved was he that even some goblins mourned his passing. Of course, that did not bode well with the rest of the goblins, most of whom could not abide mourning the loss of a wizard.
Pity goblins and wizards can't get along.
True, but imagine how dull my lectures would be without goblin rebellions to discuss. History does tend to repeat. It is a series of patterns, a thought both comforting and disconcerting. The wise student, such as yourself, will learn from it. History is written by those who do their schoolwork, so they say. Or at least, I like to say that.
This is wild goose chases.
Revelio.
Harry certainly steered me right with that wound cleaning potion. His potion looks better than you'd find in London, I reckon. This unassuming smudge is rumoured to be the location of the very first successful use of Bombarda. I suppose successful is a relative. Whoever cast it didn't live to tell the tale.
Bombarda. Confringo. Bombarda. Revelio.
Aloha Mora.
Depulso. Revelio. Revelio. Lumos. Revelio. Lumos. Revelio. Lumos. Revelio. Lumos.
I had an awful time.
Revelio. Reparo. Wingardium Leviosa. Revelio. Wingardium Leviosa.
One up, one to go.
Revelio. Wingardium Leviosa. Revelio. 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 Revelio.
Professor, could you spare a moment?
How may I help you?
I'm interested in the Goblin rebellions of the past.
Ah, certainly. Their history is part of our history. In fact, you can trace most Goblin rebellions to wizard intervention. More specifically, the laws governing wands and who may legally possess them. The Goblin Rebellion of 1612, for example, arose from Goblin frustration over lack of representation on the Wizengamot. It became a terrible, blood-soaked affair. Take heart, though. Our current peace and prosperity shows that violence can be transitory.
But Hogsmeade was just attacked, Professor.
If I'm not mistaken, and I rarely am, one of the 18th century's rebellions was led by Urg the Unclean. He had been dunked in a pond publicly by a group of young wizards, if you can imagine that. Another rebellion in 1752. The rebellion was so badly mishandled that Minister for Magic Albert Boot was forced to resign. That being said, his replacement, one Basil Flack, lasted mere weeks. Best sort of vindication, if you ask my opinion.
Please go on.
2 months into Flack's tenure, bad went to worse when the werewolves allied with the goblins. Quite smartly, Flack resigned rather than deal with their combined forces. Minister Flack was succeeded by one Hephaestus Gore, who quickly quashed the Jewel uprisings with his signature brutality. It is worth noting that many historians believe this punitive response led to even more werewolf conflict. You have noted all of this, have you not?
Oh, yes, Professor. Please continue.
Continue? I take it your thirst for knowledge has yet to be quenched.
If you would be so kind, Professor Binns.
I rarely find an audience, captive or otherwise, eager to engage in such historical minutiae.
I find your lectures quite engaging, sir. Thank you for sharing your vast knowledge.
My sincere pleasure. Now, I do believe I should be preparing for my next class. Good day to you.
Revelio. Revelio.
First year,
Accio. Revelio. Lumos. Revelio. Alohomora.
Fine now, demiguise.
Revelio. Revelio.
Professor Sharp, do you have a moment?
Depends on how you intend to use it.
I saw an aura badge on your desk and was wondering if you could tell me more about your time as an aura.
Observant. I suppose I could indulge you for a moment. Spent years tracking down reprobates who dealt in artifacts of dark magic origin.
That seems a bit more dangerous than teaching potions.
Often, yes. Though I've seen some remarkably creative concoctions brewed in my class. I enjoyed a great deal of success as an aura. However, success can make one complacent if one's confidence is not tempered by humility. One overstep in battle changed everything.
May I ask what happened?
Yes, well, I suppose it's a matter of record. My partner and I had tracked a suspect to a harbor in Scarborough, trying to smuggle shrunken heads of all things. I had deduced that he was working alone. I was mistaken, and they knew we were coming. From the moment we stepped onto the ship, well, I barely escaped with my life. My partner wasn't so lucky.
I suppose being an aura is dreadfully dangerous. I'm sorry.
It is at that. But survival is not guaranteed for any of us. Pay attention. And not just within my class. This is what I must impress upon you all. A potion and a poison may be a mere breath apart, until you consume the wrong one.
Well said, Professor.
Revelio. Accio. Revelio.
That's the last time I have a potion idea that I don't write down.
Revelio. Revelio.
Somebody! Help! I've been kidnapped!
Sir, are you all right? You seem to be in some distress.
All right? Do I look all right? I've been kidnapped!
How can you be kidnapped when you're right here?
What sort of question is that? Of course I'm right here. I've more than one frame. Do you only have one home? It's my other frame. It's been stolen. And by students, no less. They paid filthy thieves to steal my other frame.
Oh dear. That sounds awful.
Well, awful is exactly what Astoria Cricket is. She's behind all of this. She and her friends were moaning about me of all the nerve. Then I heard her plot to enlist a gang of good-for-nothings to have me stolen from the Three Broomsticks. That's why my other frame hung. Half another place. Though I suppose one could do worse. I once knew a portrait who ended up in the Hog's Head. No one's heard from him since.
Right. So back to your frame.
Ah, yes. There I was, powdering my wig, and the next thing I knew, I was being manhandled by rogues and carried off. As if I can afford not to be at my post. I do important work for the headmaster, and I need my other frame back at the Three Broomsticks.
Just who is Astoria Cricket, and what would she want with your frame?
She's a fourth-year troublemaker, that's who. She and her band of hoodlums discuss all sorts of misdeeds right under my nose, and then resent me for overhearing them. I can only assume they took my frame in some misguided attempt to punish me for doing my job.
What do you mean you do important work for the headmaster?
Let's just say I overhear quite a bit in Serona's fine establishment, and the headmaster likes to know all about it. He's come to count on me in this regard. Reminds me of my prefect days.
I don't suppose you have any idea where your stolen frame was taken. Can you see anything from it?
I most certainly can. They brought me to a ruin of all places. Some crumbling atrocity surrounded by water from the sound of it. Oh, I do also recall seeing the coast on the way.
I could look into the matter for you.
Oh, would you? How marvelous. Do it quickly, though, won't you? The place they took me to is quite beneath me. Of you? Oh, the Ministry will hear about this. The fiends will rot in Azkaban.
Revelio.
Well, are you ready to test your expertise with my most difficult questions?
Give me your worst.
Wonderful. I do admire your thirst for knowledge. Emmerich the Evil was killed in a duel against whom?
Egbert the Egregious.
That's right. Emmerich gained notoriety for terrorizing villages in the south of England during the Middle Ages, when he was the master of the Elder Wand. If a chaser keeps their hand on the quaffle as it goes through the goal, what foul are they committing?
Haversacking.
That's right. Blatching is flying to intentionally collide with a player. Stooging is when two chasers knock the other team's keeper away from the goals so that a third chaser can score. A bite from a mackled malaclaw has the unusual side effect of causing what?
Bad luck.
Correct! Native to the European coastline, the effects of a malaclaw's bite can last up to a week. What plant excretes stink sap?
Mimbolus mimbletonia.
Correct! The Mimbolus mimbletonia plant secretes stink sap as a defensive mechanism when touched. The pepper-up potion evolved from a remedy created by which 12th century wizard?
Bowman Wright.
That's incorrect. The answer was Limfrid of Stinchcombe. Centuries later, Glover Hipworth would expand on Limfrid's previous work to create the pepper-up potion we know today. In The Wizard and the Hopping Pot, what does the elder wizard leave for his son in the hopping pot?
A smaller pot.
Incorrect. The answer was a single slipper. The story was created by Beadle the Bard, but there are a few versions. I won't spoil what the slipper was for if you haven't read it recently. The Snallygaster is native to which region of the world?
The Amazon rainforest.
No, the answer was North America. The part bird, part reptile is a distant relative of the Occamy and has serrated fangs and a bulletproof hide. Who is the Muggle knight featured in the Fountain of Fair Fortune?
Sir Lancelot.
No, the answer was Sir Luckless. The three witches in the story are named Asher, Altheda, and Amata. Oh, I adore a story that ends with a twist. The world's largest kelpie is also known by what other name?
Gallangantua.
No, the answer was the Loch Ness Monster. The Office of Misinformation has worked diligently to discredit any Muggle evidence of the Kelpie's existence. Who was the first Minister for Magic?
Cadmus Peveril.
No, the first Minister was Ulick Gamp. Gamp's greatest legacy was the founding of the Department of Magical Law Enforcement. It outlawed the unforgivable curses. You've answered all of my questions. It's nice to know there's another student who appreciates the value of knowledge. You might not have got very many right, but I'm sure you learned something regardless. Thank you for humoring me by participating. I had a splendid time.
Revelio.
It's an outrage! No one makes a fool of Ferdinand Octavian Pratt!
Revelio. Revelio.
That was it. Half a bottle.
Revelio. 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 Revelio.
Scoundrels and rogues, a lot of them.
Revelio.